Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Fergie's Gum podcast. I'm joined today, as always, with my good friend Ahmed.
Hi Nathan, how are you?
I'm good. I believe you've been better. We're actually recording over Zoom right now because of
Yeah,
a critical injury that's left you out for the season, I imagine. What have you done?
yeah, just like I pulled my muscle trying to recreate Garnacho's shot against Southampton, the one that hit the post. So yeah, and I missed. So
Oh, double the pain. Double the
yeah,
pain.
so yeah, just
But
pulled muscle. Hopefully, yeah,
okay, hopefully it is better soon
yeah,
because
it's
I'm
getting
I'm
better. Yeah,
guessing because I'm guessing you can't even drive on it, right?
it's the left foot.
Okay.
So yeah, so I can drive, but I can't because I can't go up and down the stairs as easily.
Right.
So that's why yeah, I'm taking rest for a few days, but hopefully next week we're gonna get back to normal.
Yeah. So the sound quality might be slightly different today for regular listeners, but hopefully we'll be back to normal. Hopefully it's not too much of a change. One thing that did happen, brilliant thing that did happen, just as we was about to start the podcast, the Cheeto Obi Martin deal has finally gone through.
Yeah, finally. Yeah, it took a while though.
I don't
Took
know
like
why.
I don't know I have no idea. This is the first time that I know there's a whole like 5-step process for a youngster to be registered with a club if he's moving from another Premier League club or something.
Yeah, because
So
I know Arsenal wanted to keep him, so I know that was like a big thing. I mean, it's good that we've got it over the line finally because based on the last couple of results since we did the previous episode, we've struggled to score goals and finish off games. So he might be going straight into the first team.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to be honest.
It's been, I mean, the previous two results. The most recent one was 2020.
Yeah, 20, I
Ten
think.
Hag's
Yeah,
old team. Ten Hag's
yeah,
old team, which he was very, very emotional about. I felt he said that he didn't want to hurt something that he loved so much, when in actual fact he didn't. He
yeah.
basically gave them a lovely time at Old Trafford, and then before that it was the Crystal Palace game 0-0, which is not sparkling form for Manchester United right now. What do you think is going wrong?
It's just the same issues, the inconsistencies, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back kind of thing. So yeah, like I think the last podcast we did, we were we were being optimistic. We scored 10 goals. Things have probably changed now. Yeah. And then yeah, just we I think Crystal Palace we played well. So
Mm.
like I came out of that game feeling that okay, I can see the progress. There's a better system in place. We're creating chances. We just need to get that final push, just the final touch, and just put the ball in the back of the net. But it all went to waste against Twente. Everything like it seemed complete opposite against Twente. I don't know what happens with this team. What do you think?
I I watched the Crystal Palace game. Obviously, I know this has been done to death, and like all the United podcasts have already covered this already. But I felt like the entire game changed when Xerxes was taken off. It was one of the weirdest substitutions that Ten Hag has made in a long time, because even though he wasn't scoring goals and he wasn't shooting, I think I actually sent you a WhatsApp saying he needs to shoot more. The substitution to bring him off for Rashford, I can understand bringing Rashford on, but Ahmad or Garnacho was the more likely candidate for that, because as soon as Xerxes went off, we had no control up front. We had no pass to goal. Everything was so predictable. It was just run down the wing and then just try and get it into the box or shoot from a crazy angle. And it killed the game off. I only watched the lowlights of the game the other night, so I don't know exactly what went wrong, but obviously you can tell me what the problem was with that.
Yeah, like I said, the first 45, 60 minutes, exactly like you say, like when Xerxes was on the pitch, we seemed to be in control, creating chances, quick transitions, the quick 1-2s, creating like the small gaps. Bruno had I don't know, like 2 chances. Garnacho had a chance. Even like Garnacho had 2 chances. But yeah, like I don't know, maybe the team started getting frustrated. You said they brought on Rashford, and then after that they brought on Hoyland, and then we seem to switch back to playing the long ball over the line. We try every time we kept on trying to play that short pass and then the quick over the top ball, so that Hoyland can run after it. But yeah, it never worked. I don't think Hoyland is fit enough yet. So yeah, like I don't get why would you change something that's been working. Even Ahmad was part of the reason why we were actually controlling the game and creating chances. He also took him off and he kept Garnacho on. He kept Rashford on the left when Hoyland came on. Bruno, I don't know what's going on with Bruno. Yeah, so the
I mean,
thing is like
we're gonna come on to Bruno
exactly,
in a
yeah.
bit. He gets his own section, but
Yeah, deserves
yeah.
it. I just I like I just don't know. Like I don't know where the goals come from, honestly.
And I think that's been the issue. And it's, you know, this time last week we were talking about the fact that we'd scored 10 goals. Obviously, the caveat being 7 against Barnsley. But then we go straight back to just not being able to finish anything. So yeah, taking Xerxes off, even though he's not scoring, I feel like with him on the pitch, we have a better chance of actually scoring. Like you said before about Hoyland not looking fit, he definitely isn't, and it feels like a desperation move to try and get him on the pitch right now. However, when Hoyland is fit, I would like to see that partnership with Xerxes, and I would like to see how that works out, because Hoyland he doesn't do the hold up play. He does the run on play. He's very powerful when he goes forward. But I think Xerxes is more of a playmaker in that role, and I think they could complement each other to try and get the goals for us. I don't know who comes out of the team to accommodate that. And I mean, there's an entire section connected to someone that we could come out of the team in a second.
Yeah.
Running down the second half against Crystal Palace, I'm sorry to go back to that game, but the second half against Crystal Palace, once Xerxes went off, you can see everything tried to go right down the middle. Like the heat map was trying to push down the middle. Rashford was obviously playing down the middle until Hoyland came on. And there was no cohesion at all. And we was left with shots from distance, Fernandez, like Bruno, just trying to do something. And there just doesn't seem a set pattern to goal. There was nice movements all over the pitch, and the team is looking stronger, more compact, more durable in terms of like defending. But going forward, I said this at the start of the season. Going forward, we don't have a plan. There's no plan.
I think the plan is
go.
it's probably just depending on Rashford getting his form back, Bruno scoring at least 15, 20 goals, and of course, like Hoyland and Xerxes have to score. Garnacho has to score like at least 15. Ahmad has to chip in. If all of that falls into place, yeah, you could be looking at, I don't know, like 100 goals, which is okay, which is like, yeah, it's acceptable. But yeah, like the way it's going at the minute, I don't see that happening. And on the note,
that's a lot of, sorry, I was just going to say that's a lot of like little things, like the domino effect of things that have to happen, you know, all those players scoring and chipping in,
because we don't have a striker that can actually like score 40 goals like Haaland, for example, or you don't have that. Like most teams don't. And then most teams that are actually good, for example, Arsenal, yeah, you look at them, Saka 15 to 20 goals, Odegaard 10 to 15 goals, Havertz 15 to 20 like this is how it's supposed to be.
Liverpool
If
as
you
well, you know, with
yeah,
Diaz
for sure.
and Salah across the pitch, like they tend not
Jota,
to have, they tend not to have to rely on their main striker. So yeah, you're absolutely right. I do feel like there's a slight imbalance when Rashford plays, though. I'm not saying that it's his fault, but his style of play doesn't really complement whoever's playing on the right hand side, because there's no delivery really into the box. He wants to go for goal and play off that like left flank, which is great when it works.
But this is the thing, like Because like when you were talking about playing Xerxes and Hoyland together, I've been thinking of that the other day because we discussed this before. So I was thinking of that, and I don't know. I realized I don't think it works because you'd have to change the whole system. And
Yeah,
if you want to put in Xerxes instead of Bruno, because he's the only one who can go out. Bruno actually he drops back like a lot. He tracks back.
mm,
He drops and like receives the ball from the defense. He opens up the play. He has that pass. Xerxes can't do that.
mm,
So if you take Bruno out, you're gonna depend on I don't know Kobe Mino, and maybe Ugarte if he's playing Ericsson. I don't think we can depend on him.
mm,
So and Xerxes plays as a striker, and then he drops in. So he leaves this gap, the striker gap, for like Rashford or Garnacho or Ahmad or even Bruno to fill. So
yeah.
if Hoyland is there, I don't know. I like it would be easier for teams to defend against it. So I don't know if that works either. So
See, that's interesting actually, because I would say the opposite. If we had Hoyland in and it wasn't Bruno, for example, say we dropped in, we kept the wingers the way that they were, and then we played Xerxes as the like false nine, so to speak. At least then there would be space behind him that Hoyland could then run into. Because at the moment, Ahmad, Garnacho, not so much Rashford. Rashford knows how to play that central striker role, but Ahmad and Garnacho, they don't tend to hit that spot because it's not natural for them. They tend to stay out on the wings
yeah,
until at least the 18-yard box and then cut in and then try the shot or try and play it back.
why don't
Whereas
we
if we have
try?
Hoyland,
Yeah,
I'm happy to try whatever you want, mate.
no,
I need to ring Ten
because
Hag
no,
and tell
exactly.
him.
No, I think we should try like exactly what you mean. Like I agree 100%. Like if we try Hoyland on the right, for example. Like if Hoyland plays on the right, I actually played on the right for a few games last season. If he
Mm,
plays on the right, he cuts into that space and Xerxes drops in, and you keep Bruno in. So
yeah.
like I think I don't know, like they should. I agree with you, but like I said, if they want to play just Xerxes and Hoyland like as two striker or like as a nine
Yeah.
and a 9.5, then we're gonna have to change the whole system, and Ten Hag never does that. That's impossible.
But okay, so that's a good point then. Saying that we'd have to change the whole system. That I feel like something drastic like that has to happen to get Ten Hag back into the winning flow of things because this system clearly isn't working. It's not working, and no matter what they're doing in training, the whole issue with Ten Hag and the way that we're playing at the moment is inconsistency.
Yeah,
That's it. So if we get like a decent result against a Man City, for example, you can't bank on them taking that into the next game and playing that same sort of football. It
yeah,
changes, and it's the players on the pitch. I know, I understand that. I've realised that it's the players on the pitch that they're going to win, lose, or draw at any game. Yeah, Ten Hag can train them. He can tell them what to do, but it's up to the players to execute that. We've all played football. We all know how it works. The manager's words only have so much direction when you're actually out there. It's every single week they just change what they're doing. So what is the plan? Is there no plan? Is there a plan that's like, right, this is what we're going to do. This is plan A, and we're going to build down the wings and we're going to cut it back and we're going to try and find the spots and press high. That sounds like plan A, especially when Mount's on the pitch as well. But then after that, we don't know what we're going to do. It's just long balls or playing it into like blind alleys. And we don't seem to have a plan B, plan C, a plan against low block because Crystal Palace did that for quite a while. They played the
yeah.
low block for in the first half at least. So what is the issue? What's going to happen? How much of it lies at Ten Hag's door for you?
I think we'd be having a different conversation if we'd kept a clean sheet against Twente. Like, I don't think if we won 1-0, yeah, people would have said, okay, yeah, it wasn't the best, but we won. And like, if you look back
Mm,
at the results since Liverpool, we've won all games except for Crystal Palace, which we should have won as well. It's very easy to fluctuate on the narrative of Ten Hag, I think, and it's very easy to just blame him. I'm not saying he's blameless, for sure. I just think the main issue is how inconsistent the players are. Because,
Mm.
like you said, a manager can only do so much. What he does is he actually sets the team up to defend properly, to not concede. That's the base of it. And then he
Mm.
sets the team up like with certain patterns to enable the players to get into goal scoring positions, which he does, which we do. We get to goal scoring positions, but the players mess.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
like I don't see like what more he can do for now. I don't know if he should change the system. I don't think it's smart to do that like now, when we're 5, 6 games into the season already. I don't know like if changing the manager would change anything. I don't know. Like I think it's just there are certain players maybe they should just find their consistency, find their form, and people would look at this differently. I don't know. I don't know what you think.
I think what you just said is the perfect segue into the next section. It's time to talk about Bruno, the elephant in the room, or not so much an elephant in the room anymore. It's just it seems to have been he's turned into an issue that I don't think Manchester United have an answer to solve right now.
Yeah, yeah. The past, no, actually, since the beginning of the season, it hasn't been going well for him. Everything he's trying, it's not coming off. He's been unlucky with some chances. For example, the chance against Southampton was it? No, it was Palace when he hit the
Yeah.
bar. The
Mm-hmm.
first game against Fulham, like he missed two easy chances. I don't know. I think he's a confidence player as well. So this is like exactly like Rashford. So once things aren't going his way, he starts like trying these, I don't know, like impossible passes. Like he doesn't crazy passes. He loses the ball way too easily. Against Palace, I think he lost the ball like 5 times in 15 seconds or something. I don't know. It just felt like that.
I think the statistic from that game was something like 36 times he lost possession, which was the most out of any player in the Premier League in 90 minutes this season. Something it was a bizarre statistic, but one of the issues that you're absolutely right with what you're saying about Bruno, like he's been such a great servant for us. You know, when he got that new contract, we were all delighted, you know. And he's at his peak now, you know. He's at his peak years. He's 30, I think now. He's just
Yeah,
turned
he's 30.
30. So he's at his peak years now, and you expect that he's only going to go down from here. But he's offered so much for Manchester United when we've needed him, and he's been so often the creative spark that I'm not entirely sure that he can play in a system that Eric Ten Hag wants to play, because I feel like he's turned into the burden of this system where Ten Hag wants to keep it possession based football, to build pressure, to get to the perfect opportunity. It's not like, not in the same way that, you know, Man City orchestrate their goals, or like if you ever played like FIFA, where there's always set patterns to score your goals. But I feel like with this possession style football that Ten Hag wants to do, Bruno doesn't fit it. And I feel like the reason why we're playing him, and I might be wrong here, I've been wrong about stuff before, but the reason why we're playing him is because we bent the knee to his demands in the summer. We've given him an absolutely astronomical salary, which he was deserving of. I'm like, I've got absolutely no problem with that. And now it's like, well, you've got him, so now you have to play him. And I feel that that Ten Hag is in a bind now where he has to play every game, regardless of his form or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, like he's also the club captain for sure. Yeah, he's gonna have to start every game. And he's one of those players that I don't think he likes having rest. For example, if it was a midweek game, he has to play. He used to play every single game, I think. Like even if it was important, if it's not important against League One opposition, he used to play every single game. The amount of minutes he's been playing for the past few years is catching up to him. I don't know. I still think he's one of our three most important players. I think if
Mm.
we're gonna play well, if we're gonna win, if we're gonna go on a winning streak, or it's gonna have to be Bruno like dragging us through that.
Yeah.
I think once I just think he's like I said, like his confidence is shot. He's not like everything he's trying is not coming off. Against Twente, for example, the last game when he had this
Mm.
shot from the edge of the box and it like went close close of the post. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah.
He saw from his reaction, like how he fell to the ground, like how he stayed on the ground for a few seconds. It needed for
Mm.
Mason Mount to come to pick him up because it
Yeah.
feels like there's this,
He's
like you said,
broken.
burden. Yeah, like there's he feels responsible. He feels like the weight of the team is on his shoulders. I think once he gets this goal, once we start like other people can be scoring more, we don't have to depend on him as much. I think he's still one of the most important players. I don't think we should drop him. I don't see anyone who can
Okay.
replace him. Yeah.
That like I need to preface this with the fact that I think he's been like I was one of the people that definitely wanted to get him a new contract. I wanted him to stay. He's one of my favorite players at United, probably of all time. Like just because of his consistency and the magic that he can pull out of there. Now, for the betterment of the team, you have to make critical decisions in the manager's position. And I know that you touched on the fact that you wouldn't drop him, but do you let him try to play himself out of a rut when you can clearly see that, as you mentioned before, he took that shot, needed a few extra seconds on the floor to kind of gather himself. He's not playing the same way that he has been. Does he need a rest, an enforced one?
I don't know. He had the rest against Barnsley. I think he came on
But
minute
we still
70 or
played him
something.
though. But
Yeah, he
again,
came
like
on.
he could have done with just. Well, I think we were cruising at like 4-0 at that point
Yeah, well, yeah,
when
it
when
was.
he
He
came
could have.
on.
Like I also think he's one of those players that if he rests for more than one game, then he's gonna need like 5, 6 games to get back into the rhythm. So that's why he has to keep on playing. He has to have minutes here and there every single
But
game.
but then we can't afford if we have any aspirations for the titles that we're in and the competitions that we're in, we can't afford to rely on one player anymore. As much as he's done it in the past and he's been amazing for us to do that, we can't rely on that type of magic
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, but like
And
who
as
would you replace him with? Like even if you drop him, who would you put in his place? Like Mason Mount. I don't,
I
everyone's
know,
like
well,
just Mount Ericsson or Xerxes with Hoyland. Like I don't think people realize how important Bruno is to the team in and out of possession. Even like
mm,
in this system
yeah.
specifically. That's why there's no way Ten Hag's gonna drop him. He's the one who leads the press. He's the one who leads. He's the one who like notices the triggers to press, and he tells like his teammates where to go, when to press. I don't know. Like
I,
it's just not that simple. I think I don't know. Like
I don't
once
think
he
it's a simple
scores,
thing.
yeah,
I
once he
don't think
scores,
it's a
he's gonna
simple
get
thing.
back into it. Oh yeah, he's one of those players.
But but that's the thing though. Like again, I'll just go back to the original question. Like, do you persist with him and let him try to play himself out of it? Is that what you would do?
I would. Yeah, I would
Okay.
100%. Would you?
I think dropping him, like it's to say we were going to drop him against Spurs, I think would do more damage than good. I
Yeah.
think it would be not just the how it would affect him as a player. I think it would have ramifications that would build in the press, and the pressure that would be on him. I don't think it would be the best way to handle that situation by dropping him. I think that sends out a statement that you shouldn't be playing anymore. He's not quite in Casemiro territory where his legs have gone,
Yeah.
but he is in a territory where something needs to go right for him soon
Yeah.
because everything is going wrong and you can see it's affecting him mentally as well. But when a player is like he was against Palace, he started the game and he played the entire game, I think. I think he played the
The
full
entire
90
game. Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the big decision then, if you played for 60 minutes, 70 minutes, and nothing's coming off and you're continually giving possession away, I think you have to take him off then. Because I think you have to, you don't do it from the start because it would just shatter him completely. But I think if he's not playing up to his standards, not your standards, if he's not playing up to his standards, which he would say he's not right now, then you have to take him off. You have to save him from himself. But I don't know, like you said, I don't know who that ideal replacement is. There's no one like him. There is no one like him in that team.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
what I
lose
was
a
gonna
lot.
say. Exactly what you said. Like that's what I was gonna say. You don't drop him, but I don't like the idea of him being impossible to take off. I don't get it. Like for example, the last game against Fenton, like it was obvious. Okay, it wasn't his day. It wasn't his day. Everything he was trying, it wasn't coming off. So
Yeah,
it's okay if you just keep other players on. Like he was taking off. I don't know, Ericsson, I think, or Xerxes. He was taking off
yeah.
players that were actually playing well, creating stuff. And he kept Bruno on. Like it's okay if you take Bruno off. It wouldn't affect the team that much.
So here's a question for you, because like it does seem that there is a set strategy for substitutions that Ten Hag makes. Do you believe that he has like predetermined substitutions that he's going to make at certain times in the game, regardless of how the game is going? Because that
Yeah.
is my only explanation for why he continues to take off players that aren't the obvious worst on the pitch at that moment in time, like Xerxes at Palace, for example.
I think at this point, it's more to do with the minutes each player is getting. Like he's managing each player's minutes, just because we saw what happened last year. So I think he just has like PTSD. So this player is gonna take like he's gonna play 60 minutes and that's it. Even if he's playing well, he's not playing well, he's gonna come off. I think Xerxes is like that, and he wants to give minutes to the players coming back from injury, for example, the ones that haven't had a full preseason, Hoyland, Mount coming back from injury. So I think, like to your question, I'd say he does have an idea who's gonna come off and who's gonna come on before the game even starts. Once we go deeper into the season, I think he'd have more flexibility with that. But for now, for example, Bruno, I don't know, like I don't know. I just don't get why it's impossible to take him off. Even against Palace, he didn't take him
Yeah.
off when he should have as
I
well.
know. He was
Yeah.
having an
So
absolute nightmare of a game against Palace. It was that classic game where it's like, again, playing five aside, playing seven aside, playing 11 aside in real life. You know when either you as a player, you're just not feeling it and you've got
exactly,
to come off.
exactly.
But you won't come off because you want to stay on and try and score. That's the reason why you won't be happy about coming off at all. Ten Hag has a duty of care to kind of save him from himself, and especially in those games where it's just not going well for him over and over again, you need to bring something else on. And I'm not saying that it has to be like for like, but there needs to be Ten Hag needs to show that there is a contingency plan if Bruno's having a stinker, for example. Something needs to be done. Xerxes goes there, someone goes there, and then we put this substitution on, and this is our new style of play for the next 30 minutes. But right now, it just seems
Yeah.
like
I think
he can do no wrong.
his only plan B that he had last season, he doesn't have it anymore, which is bringing on McTominay. This is what used to happen exactly. Like when things weren't going our way, when he wants to play this possession based, like against low block teams. Okay, minute 70, it's not going our way. Put on McTominay up front, and it actually used to work sometimes. Yeah, but now he doesn't have that luxury anymore. So he has to find
Yeah.
another plan.
There's a small mention to Scott McTominay, who scored his first goal for Napoli at the weekend. Did you see it?
Yeah, yeah, of course. Andy hit the crossbar as well.
Yeah, and he scored it from that position that a couple of podcasts ago we were talking about. That's where Hoyland should be,
Yeah,
and that's exactly where McTominay was.
yeah.
Lukaku setting up McTominay, the old United connection. But yeah, it was nice to see. I don't really want to talk about any more previews with Manchester United because I don't exactly know what we're going to get from game to game. But I guess we have to do the Spurs one, and that's coming Saturday. Is it? Is it Spurs on
Sunday,
Saturday?
Sunday night.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Always have a bad feeling about those Sunday night games or
I'm
any
actually
evening
feeling
games at the
optimistic, to be
moment.
honest. Yeah.
Ah,
No, I'm looking forward
wow.
to it. Because it's always like this with United. When we're not playing well, then this is when we actually, yeah, like we show up.
Yeah.
I think Bruno's gonna show up. I have a feeling.
Okay. Are you brave enough to put Bruno as captain in your fantasy football team this week?
No, I removed him this week. I transferred him out.
There we go. There we go. No vote of
Yeah, I had to
confidence
bring
for
in Saka. I
Bruno.
had to bring in Saka.
The game against Spurs, I feel like the season that we're both having is very similar. Isn't it 10th versus 11th for
Saka,
something
exactly.
crazy?
Yeah.
So neither team has started off great. Both managers are under fire at the moment. I don't think Ange Postecoglou is having a great time. I think he's becoming quite fiery because he obviously was quoted as saying that in his second season he always wins silverware, which Spurs fans will be hoping for because they haven't won in,
6
I don't
years.
know, 3,000 years.
Yeah.
Something like that. And it just seems whoever loses, I know every week in the Premier League, there's a crisis team, but I do feel like this is the battle of the crisis teams. And for the next 7 days, whoever loses this game is going to be that crisis team, and there will be talk of Ange getting sacked. There will be talk of Ten Hag getting sacked. There will be talk of this manager's agent has been in touch with Spurs. They've been sounded out by Man United. I'm fairly certain that's already happening behind the scenes because they'll have their plan Bs for every manager that they sign up. But this game at the weekend, I feel has extra weight to it, and I feel like I know I say this all the time, but it's a must-win game for Manchester United.
It is a must-win game. It is a must-win game. I actually think Spurs, yeah, like we didn't beat them under Postecoglou yet. I don't think Eric has
No.
beaten. Yeah, so we lost 2-0 the first game, and then yeah, we drew 2-2, which I think we should have won easily last season. They've been playing well, to be honest. To be fair to Spurs, they've been playing well this season. They've been a bit unlucky with some results. Um, I think the Arsenal result, maybe it was a bit unlucky. The first game they had against Leicester, also a bit unlucky. But you can say the same for United as well. Um, I think both, exactly like you said, both teams are on the same wavelength. I'd say
Yeah.
both of them are going through the same phase. Um, I was watching. I was doing my scouting report on Tottenham. I was watching their game against Karabakh last night.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
That's a big fixture in the European Conference League.
yeah, very big. Actually, Son was injured and he came off.
Oh really?
Yeah, I
I
don't know
never
if
like to
it's
see players get injured, but I mean, if anything gives us a leg up in a game, I'll
yeah,
take it.
I don't know if it's gonna rule him out of this game, but yeah, it didn't look the best. Um, so let's see if that gives us an advantage.
I think we haven't been playing badly. That's the thing. Like I
Yeah,
didn't watch the game on Thursday or Wednesday. Sorry, I didn't watch the game on Wednesday. But the previous games, like even at Palace, we didn't play bad. Like we was playing really well. And in the first half, if we'd have put just one of those chances away, I think we would have just battered them. Like
yeah.
we were all over them. A goal just would have raised even more confidence in what they were doing. Defense was playing well, midfield was playing well, and we just couldn't finish it. And
This
I
is what
and
I'd
and
say.
I feel I
Yeah.
feel like against Spurs, it'll be the exact same thing. But we need to finish one of those chances, at least one of those chances early on with lots of pressure to try and to actually push forward and win the game.
What I'd say is this season defensively we've been like aside from the Liverpool game, defensively we've been way better. We haven't been
Mm.
conceding chances
Yeah,
as much. Um, the partnerships are, you can see them growing.
yeah.
Mazraoui is honestly he's so impressive. Delo is playing
Mm.
well. And Lisandro are playing really well. So I think as a base, yeah, we can actually keep a clean sheet, which is like the first step.
Yeah,
Um, and we, yeah, like you said, we just need to put one of those chances away. We just need to score. Like we need something to go our way. I think luck plays a big part in everything with
mm.
football. Right now, I don't think it's on our side,
Yeah,
but I think we just need this small break, and I don't know, things will start falling into place. I think against Spurs, Old Trafford, under the lights, the players will be pumped up. Against Twente, I think maybe they went into that game maybe like extra confident, I'd say, maybe
that's
overconfident.
slightly disrespectful of
Yeah,
the opposition. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Against Spurs, I don't think it's going to be the same. Premier League is never the same.
I think Ericsson actually came out echoing what you just mentioned, saying that they wanted it more.
Yeah, for
The
sure.
they just wanted it more than United did. But that can't happen against Spurs. It cannot happen. It has to be they have to raise themselves. And I think the catalyst to all of it, to a great performance, is the person that we just dedicated an entire section to, and it's Bruno. Because if he fires in one goal or just gets one assist, I think that's enough. That's enough to kick him on and to get him going again. And I think once he gets that, the pressure's off for the rest of the team.
Yeah,
I feel
exactly. I
like I
agree.
feel like that I feel like that kind of inspiration from him will spread through the team. And as much as we keep saying like we need the strikers to start scoring, Xerxes is a guaranteed starter for me at the moment because I feel like he just brings a lot to the forward line. And I think he creates chances for those guys and he creates space for those guys as well, like Ahmad or Garnacho or Rashford. And I think it's really important that we start him on Sunday. Really important that we start him. But are there any other changes that you would make to the squad that face Palace, not the Twont game?
I'm not sure if Ericsson is gonna play. I say this every single game. I'm like, there's no way this guy can play, I don't know, 6 games on the bounce. But yeah, every
Yeah,
time he keeps on starting. He was good against Twente and Palace. Yeah, he was at fault for the goal. But yeah, like I wouldn't blame only him. It was the whole team.
yeah,
Um, and I think he's very important to the way we've been playing. So I think if he actually can play, then he has to. Ugarte, I don't feel he's up to pace yet. I don't feel he's fit enough. I don't know if like he's still getting to know the
mm,
system that Ten Hag wants to play.
yeah.
He wasn't the best against Twente. He wasn't as bad as people like I've been seeing a lot of people. I don't know, like just he's doesn't make sense spending 60 million on this signing. It's way too early. He's gonna
This is the internet and social media these days. Everything is binary. There is no nuance with any decisions anymore. You're either with it or you're against it. That's it. There's nothing in the middle anymore, which is
especially
why.
with United.
Oh yeah, of course,
Yeah,
it's always been that way. But like, there's players that are out there, or Ugarte is a perfect example. You know, he's not scored a hat trick, or he's not done like a goal line clearance. So what's the point? You know, just get rid of him. What a waste of money. I saw the same being said about Xerxes as well, like because he scored 1 in 5. Like
yeah,
I get it, but if this is the way that we're going to be, I mean, not just through football, but in life, like if it's either yes or no responses to absolutely everything, you just take everything is reduced to the opinion of who shouts the loudest, and that's it, and
yeah.
that's
You're
it.
right. Yeah.
But I think the only change, I don't think I wouldn't play Ericsson for the simple fact that he's played. This will be his fifth game on the run, sixth game. Southampton,
Southampton, Barnsley.
Palace, Barnsley,
Yeah,
20.
yeah.
Yeah, this will be
That's
his fifth game that he will start. I'm not saying that he's incapable of doing it, but bear in mind he's barely like he was bought to at a time when we didn't have the right midfielders, and now we do have the right midfielders. It seems crazy to have gone back to him as the person that we need in that position. But I think if you're going to use Ugarte properly, I think he has to start that game next to Manu.
Let's see. Yeah, maybe like Ugarte wasn't playing. He wasn't playing with Mino against Twente. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe Mino would bring out the best in him. Maybe Ugarte would bring out the best in Mino. The thing is, like watching the Palace game, even like the Southampton game. Whenever we look at the team sheet, we're like, who's gonna play the six? Because Ugarte is not there. Casemiro is not there. Maino can't play there. He's actually wait. But what I realize is it's always Dalot who comes into the six.
Yeah.
Always Dalot or Lisandro. They keep on filling that gap. So I think he's gonna keep on doing that against Spurs because it's working. It's creating chances. It's controlling the game. So I think Eriksen is gonna start. Maybe he's gonna come off minute 60 or something. I don't know. But I think he's gonna go for the same team that played against Palace. Maybe Rashford for Ahmad and Garnacho goes on the right. I think he might go for that. What about you?
You might be right. I think Rashford definitely starts this game. I think it was a bit of a shock that he was dropped in the game against Palace. But I think that he will start this game. I don't know who out of Ahmad and Garnacho though that he'll drop. I don't know.
Garnacho didn't start. He didn't play against Twente. He came on minute 60 or 70, so I'm sure he's gonna start. There's no way he keeps him on the bench again.
Fair. Okay, score prediction.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for 2-0.
He's gone.
United.
He's doing it.
Maybe
I
Bruno
went
scoring.
3-1. I went 3-1 with the Palace prediction. No, that was the Palace prediction.
Okay, yeah, that's a bit too optimistic.
I know, and now I need to be cautious about it. I think we'll win, and I think it'll be 2-1. I don't think it's going to be easy, and I think they'll take the lead first, and then we'll come back and win 2-1.
If they take the lead, we're never gonna come back. It's over. If they take the lead, it's over. I'm just gonna turn off the TV.
So there we go. That's the end of episode 3 of the Fergie's Gun podcast. Can't get my words out. It's so hot in here. Hopefully, we'll be talking again next week following a Manchester United victory over Spurs. Fingers crossed with that. But thanks for listening, and do follow us again on. Can you remember what the handles are?
Yeah, I made sure this time. It's at Fergie's Gun podcast on Instagram, and you can follow us on YouTube at Fergie's Gun podcast as well.
Yeah, and we promise that we will actually post something there soon. Thanks for listening, and we'll speak to you again soon. Bye.